Did you love Ahsoka, or did you hate it? Or did you just enjoy it as a fun romp in the galaxy? Either way, there is a lot to learn about the future of Star Wars in the newest entry in the universe. And the next open-world Star Wars game is coming out in November. Welcome to Star Wars Uplink, your place for everything Star Wars gaming, the TV shows, and the movies. Let's jump in.
Just you reconsider playing that message for him.
It is now 2 Tuesdays since we have last gotten a Star Wars Ahsoka episode. As like a retrospective, I want to look back at Star Wars Ahsoka. I want to look at the highs, what it did incredibly well as what it did poorly, and how it has affected the Star Wars galaxy, both from a canon perspective as well as a Legends lore perspective.
Yeah, well, for starters, we have a whole new universe.
Yeah, a whole other galaxy in Star Wars to explore. Obviously, there's only one planet in that galaxy that we know of, Priya, and it didn't seem to be as highly populated as we might have expected. And it seems like they didn't necessarily have the capabilities of leaving said planet because, the Chimera was a little rough for wear by the time it got there.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like they had, maybe it's like on the outer rim of that galaxy. There's a lot going on there that I have questions on. Like, what's the state of this galaxy? Obviously, there is enough infrastructure and enough know-how for the raiders on there to have the ability to make helmets and armor and weapons. So there's something along there that they have some semblance, or they can get this materials, they can forge it in some form or fashion. And it does make me question of, like, in the 9 years that they were on Pridia, no one came to visit them?
That's
from the
true.
other planets, or did they just successfully stop them from coming?
I mean, that planet seems to have a pretty bad rap as far as, like,
something happened there for sure.
It's like it's the armpit maybe of the galaxy. Who knows? It's really hard though to judge a galaxy on one planet.
It is. But that's what we're doing today.
That's what we're doing right now. I would like to assume that because there is life at least on one planet, that they have also gathered more than just dark magic.
You think so, yeah.
Using people. I would imagine that there's more to it. It's just a bad place and people don't like to visit there.
Yeah. I think that's a fair theory, but also, like, I went to Tatooine.
Yeah, and that's the armpit of the...
Yeah.
But that still has
or
a pretty
Jakku.
big... Yeah, that's probably even more so. It still has a big crime syndicate stuff going around in
Yeah, I
Tatooine.
guess so. Spice trade.
It's a different kind of thriving.
Yeah, but I mean, those are the questions that I have around this new galaxy in Star Wars. Of like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah.
Is it just the one planet? Is it multiple planets? Are they in the far reaches of that galaxy? What does travel in between these planets look like? Is there any semblance of that kind of technology here? Does hyperdrive tech work here? You would have to find some ship there locally to be able to utilize those hyperdrive lanes.
Right.
To know where they are, or you could use like the Chiss do, and the children have the force sensitivity, allows them to jump and track and create new hyperlane routes.
Honestly, they have not explored, they haven't even scratched the surface of this galaxy.
Or this planet.
That's true. That is so true. We don't even know. We don't even know. We're so in the dark, and yet there's been a light shone upon this galaxy.
Yes.
So what does it mean? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But going back to Ahsoka as a whole, this show did something very different, which was take it back to that Star Wars roots. Take it back to kind of how we feel vibe-wise of like the Clone Wars or Rebels. Taking the vibe of those shows that utilize this fun campiness tied to some serious topics and tied to some serious storytelling, and bringing that further along into this more digestible route. And bringing it into live action. I think they did a really good job for their first example of this, taking these characters that we knew from animation and making a whole show around them.
I definitely think they brought in a lot of elements that tied in a bunch of different Star Wars that not everyone's going to have seen.
Yes.
So
it was the Star Wars show for Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely for the deep cut Star Wars fans.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they were bringing in, like, stuff from Clone Wars and, like, just all this stuff that most just
And not just like
casual
season 1
viewers-
Clone Wars.
No, like deep into Clone
Mortis
Wars.
arc Clone Wars.
Yeah. In a way, he's just making it more of a reality. Like more of like, no, this is what Star Wars is in my world sort of thing. So we're going to make it just come to be. It's just an interesting, very interesting space for Star Wars.
How
Pun
well
intended.
do you feel like it capitalized on these characters? Do you think it did a good job of putting them in this new galaxy, in this new perspective, in this new time period in Star Wars?
It's a lot. It's a lot to expect from these characters that we've seen in very different stages. I want to say yes. I think they did a really good job for what they could do with the time that we had.
Yeah. Which we'll get to that.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say that it did a pretty good job. Obviously, there's things that I would want to change, or like I would want to see more of X in this person or in this character. Like I wasn't quite satisfied, but I think that's kind of the point. So yeah. What do you think?
I think they did an okay job with it. I feel like we got just the surface level on so many of these characters, and then we went back not to where we started, but an inverse of where we started or where we left off with them, because we see Ahsoka, Ezra, Sabine, Zeb, the whole crew at the end of Rebels Season 4. They're all in this situation. Ezra and Thrawn get taken off to this new galaxy. And now we have the inverse of that, where Ezra and Thrawn are taken back to the Star Wars galaxy. And now we're going to create another story, but the reverse of that in telling the same thing? Or are we going to just leave Ahsoka and Sabine on that planet, and Thrawn and Ezra knowing that Thrawn is a serious threat now that he's in that galaxy? Is he just going to focus on that, or is he going to focus like Sabine did on saving them again? They did an okay job with the characters themselves. I think they did a lackluster job with the whole story arc in terms of, well, we're kind of even worse than we started before, and we didn't move anything forward. We've actually moved back a couple steps.
I might disagree with you. I think they're in a better space to have Ezra than to have Ahsoka.
Oh, 100%. That's what I mean. Like that's why I feel like Ezra knowing the threat of Thrawn is much better than Ahsoka and Sabine being on the other side.
Yeah, it'd be like, la la la, no, don't let Thrawn come back. But
'Cause
now that
I
he
feel
is
like-
back,
I do wonder. I feel like Ezra, before he went on this trip, would have sacrificed the same thing that Sabine did to get to Sabine. But I do question, like, if this new Ezra would have made that same decision.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he would have destroyed the map and tried to figure some other way over there.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I already have the sense that he's very much more mature than Sabine.
Oh yeah,
He's grown a lot.
and
And
you've
not
grown.
just in facial hair.
We've got a new space Jesus.
But no, I think Ezra's going to be a lot more savvy as far as like knowing where priorities should lay.
And also how to impact Thrawn, because he had been dwindling his forces throughout that whole 9-year period.
Yeah. It's going to be really interesting to see where he goes as far as the political side of things, because I feel like they might make that his struggle, like trying to get his voice heard in that.
Yes, that's a good point. I feel like we're going to get, whatever we get next is going to be more of like a political series, and
Or he'll just turn all rebel and make Hera come with him. And
yeah, that was my next point of like Hera and Ezra is quite the combo, especially with young Jason getting some sensitivities to the Force. That could be a very dangerous combo for the resiliency of the New Republic.
oh, I wonder if they're going to get Zeb in there with them too.
They've got to.
They've got to.
I
They got to
feel
get
like
the group back together.
the introduction of Zeb in The Mandalorian season 3, they have to do
They
something
have
with
to.
him.
They can't just tease him like that and not bring him in.
They have to bring the band back together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many of these different pieces. We've moved forward in many ways, but we've also moved backwards in many ways in that same breadth. And I think there is it's going to be a very interesting transition, moving forward process with these characters and these situations and how they move forward than we've seen in any of the other Star Wars shows. Much more Clone Wars-esque in terms of we have one story that we're going to tell over this time period that's filling the gap in between these two movies.
Yeah.
And we're going to stretch that gap into 7 seasons in Clone Wars case. And I feel like we're going to have something very similar to that in Ahsoka. And we're going to see that in this Mandoverse and how each of these shows interweave with each other and how the Mandalorian does this over here while also impacting Ahsoka over here.
Do you think we're going to get a Mandalorian season next? Or do you think they're going to come out with an Ahsoka first before another Mandalorian? Because Mandalorian's been very much like up in the air. Like, is this going to be a movie? Is this going to be a TV show still? Like, what's going to happen next? And we don't really know.
Yeah. Apparently, Jon Favreau has written season 4 of The Mandalorian. He said he's gone on record, but I think before all of the episodes of season 3 had come out, that he has already written season 4. So I think if we're looking at this, we're going to see season 4 of Mando before we see anything other in the Mandoverse around Ahsoka. And I feel like that's going to suck.
Yeah.
I want more Ahsoka. And I love Mando season 1. I really like Mando season 2. Mando season 3, it's okay. So going from Mando season 3 to Ahsoka was like, oh my gosh, here we go.
Yeah.
And now we may get some transitionary thing. I feel like whatever season 4 is going to be is what season 3 was supposed to be before all of the struggles with getting onto Pedro Pascal's schedule. Because I think there was a report that he wasn't on set for most of The Mandalorian, if any, of Mandalorian season 3.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But there's still season 2.5. So
yeah, there's still season 2.5. So yeah, I think there's going to be some interesting things going on with these characters in that time period. But I do want to ask you, how can they improve? What is it that Ahsoka has done that, one, they can continue to do? And then 2, what is it that we think they can improve on?
Obviously, they've got a great story going. And I think that's really going to help
building
them.
A foundation for a good one.
Yeah, they've got a really good, strong foundation. They've got the big bad with other little big bads in there. Man, like what's going on with Balin? We still don't know.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. So now we've got 2 stories. Like, that's interesting. It's interesting that they made it into 2 stories now. Like, now we've got Ahsoka and them in the other galaxy, and then we've got these everybody else fighting Thrawn.
Yeah.
That's an interesting choice. I think it's good. I'll be really interested to see how they up the tension with that. Like, I don't know. I think that is something that hasn't really been there, is the tension.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there was a threat, but that was all it kind of
there was no
was.
concern ever. Like,
Right.
every single... It wasn't the choreography. Everyone's like, the choreography in Ahsoka is so bad. It wasn't that.
No.
It was that you didn't care. You knew that Ahsoka was going to win every single fight. That was it. Against Morgan Elsbeth, there was no tension there. There was no concern for Ahsoka's well-being.
What are the stakes, really? Come on.
That was my biggest gripe. Like, I think choreography in Ahsoka was fine. I thought it was really enjoyable in most places. But obviously with the introduction of, like, the whole stupid LED lightsaber thing, that has really put a damper on how quickly they can remove a saber. Because if you've held one of those, you can't move quickly with those. There's a weight to it that makes it feel slower. And I think that's one thing that we're picking up here with the fight scenes. The number 2 thing, and I think that's even more impactful, is there's no pressure. There's no threat in any of the fights in Ahsoka. Morgan Elsbeth and Ahsoka, I think, is the clearest one. That's the one that you should have been most concerned about.
Yep.
But are you? Not really. That was my biggest gripe. I felt like Ahsoka should have gotten hurt in some way, and that would have led to more of an understanding of why they were delayed and how Thrawn became free. I think that would have been way more impactful. But again, it's Dave Filoni doing his favorite character. He's not going to hurt his favorite character in that way.
I wish he would. I think it'd be more interesting.
Yeah.
As a character standpoint for him, like, no, like, what would happen if your favorite favorite precious person actually did get hurt and got poisoned or something like bad happened. That would have been really interesting.
It would have been great.
Yeah. The stakes would have been that much higher. It's like, is there a time crunch now? Do you have to really get back, or do you need to stay here and like do a thing to get this healing thing done? Or like, it just would have been really interesting.
And Ahsoka would have had to be reliant on Sabine. I think that would have been a very interesting plot point.
Yeah.
So hopefully they do something like that in the future, maybe against Balin, who knows.
Yeah.
The second thing that I have issue with would be timing. I am so over 8-episode series. They're dumb, and I feel like the whole industry is moving away from them. Marvel just recently announced that they're doing a complete wipe of their whole TV strategy.
Whoa.
They're going to move towards showrunners and development of series, multiple seasons, in the standard format, rather than what they had done previously, which was, let's give a bunch of movie directors a bunch of money, no pilot episodes, no nothing. They make the whole series in one go, and then they're just long movies. That's not going to work now. I don't think anybody wants more 8-episode series. It allows them to crank more out, but I'd rather have, like Andor did, 12 episodes than 8. 8 feels way too short. They can't do enough development in the time necessary, and it makes the show feel lacking, in my opinion.
It would have been interesting to see Ahsoka as 12 episodes. I don't know.
It would have made a lot more sense for Sabine's quick use, or more powerful use, as well as Ahsoka's overcoming of her own demons inside.
Yeah, that
Thrawn
definitely.
strategy. Yeah. Balin, more Balin.
Just more Balin, man.
Add the other 4 episodes just about Balin. He could be like looking over the coast stoically, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, this is the best Star Wars ever.
Oh my. Yeah, it would have been really interesting though to see how they could have developed this more. I think it would have just affected the stakes. We would have just gotten that much more attached to these characters instead of feeling like Clone Wars kind of did. Like it feels immature just because of that, just because we're not getting that time and that personal touch, I guess.
It's fake stakes. You know, outside of the universe, that the story has to end by these episodes. In universe, it makes no sense why they're in such of a hurry. Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of sad I didn't see something that surprised me. You know, like what you were saying, like if Ahsoka did get hurt, like that would have surprised me. Or like there need to be a little bit. There needed to be something that changed my mind to be like, oh wait, no, this is big, or this is different. Like this is serious. It just never really got there.
I think that ultimately comes down to it being the first of this type. It's a side effect of it being the first kind of like restructuring of what the Mandoverse is.
Yeah.
That they felt like they had to play it a little bit safe. If they play it safe in season 2, that's where it's like, no, that wasn't playing it safe just to build a foundation. It was an intentional choice.
Yeah. So
I feel like that's something that we'll hold reservation on before we judge them too harshly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll rein it in.
Yeah, so that's my thoughts on it. Like, let's wait till if season 2 comes out and they're still making those safe, predictable choices. It's like, nope, he's just not ready to commit yet.
It is kind of a shame what they did to Morgan Elsbeth. That's
such a waste.
She had such power too.
I mean, she had Mother Talzin's sword.
Yeah. I don't know. No, we're not gonna go there.
Don't go.
We're not gonna go there. No.
But yeah, there's a lot of these different pieces when it comes to Ahsoka, and I think they're building it up to a very interesting place. But now, the next Star Wars game, it's not what you might think of Star Wars Outlaws. It's not a new first-person shooter. It's not another Battlefront game. It's nothing like that. It's actually an update coming to not Fortnite, but Minecraft. Okay. Minecraft, out of the blue, dropped this one trailer on Star Wars. It's actually a really awesome trailer.
Yeah, actually.
Some key moments around the Clone Wars. You get to create your own character. You get to customize your own little buddy droid. And you get a story-driven adventure played through Minecraft. From Kamino to Coruscant.
Okay, Minecraft is doing some really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I say that in both the good and the bad things. I think Minecraft, and I do not think story driven at all. Like nothing. I just think you just go and you just drop into a little world that's generated for you, and it's totally unique. Blah blah blah, and then you make the story.
Yeah, vanilla Minecraft for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get into the mods, and then you get to
Yeah.
the servers, and then you get to all these other things where people are building these stories using that as like the foundation.
I think that has been what we've been seeing more and more from Minecraft though too. Is that like the more stories and even just books coming out from Minecraft.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
Comic books and like.
There's supposedly a movie at some point going to be set in Minecraft.
What?
Yeah, Minecraft movie.
This thing's gotten so big.
Yeah. 300 million people own a copy of Minecraft, or there have sold 300 million copies of Minecraft. It's a huge deal. This is going to be a free update that comes out November 7th, so not too long away, honestly. And it is going to, like I said, allow you to create your own character and create your own path of the Jedi is what it's called. So you get to go through the height of the Clone Wars. You get to create your story in the Star Wars galaxy, in these different planets, in these different places on those planets as key parts of the Star Wars story. And you get to live your own Star Wars game.
Yeah.
In Minecraft.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy.
Wild. It's definitely a Jedi-based game.
Yes.
But you get to wield the Force.
Mm-hmm.
You get to make your own lightsaber.
Yeah.
Like, what?
In Minecraft.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. No, if you had told me at the beginning of the year, you'd be like, okay, but like, tell me a game that's going to come out that's Star Wars themed.
Which is going to come out first, Star Wars Hunters or a Minecraft version of Star Wars?
Probably the
first
Hunters.
of the year?
Definitely would have said.
You've been like Star Wars
Minecraft
Hunters,
and
right?
Star
Yeah,
Wars.
it's supposed to
No,
already
they would
been out.
never.
It should be almost done. They're
would
still doing updates, right? No. Something we didn't even know about at the beginning of the year is coming out, which is a Star Wars update to Minecraft. It's so crazy.
And it's free.
It's going to be a free update November 7th. And this is what they say about it. Path of the Jedi will be explicitly story-driven as the player's Jedi Knight in training travels around the galaxies to planets such as Coruscant and Kamino to complete various missions.
They're giving you Coruscant.
Yes.
Oh, no.
Star Wars, not Battlefront 2015, not Battlefront 2 2017. Jedi Fallen or Jedi Survivor was the only option that we got. And now Minecraft. The two versions of Coruscant is Jedi Survivor and Minecraft.
Yeah.
Welcome to Star Wars gaming in 2023. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this. This is something I feel like we've gotten, and I've complained about this before, there are more updates for Star Wars in Fortnite than there have been in any of the other Star Wars games combined, probably. And now, not everyone plays Fortnite. Everyone plays Minecraft, though. Now we're getting something really unique in the Star Wars universe that's in Minecraft that allows you the freedom of Minecraft as well as like the storytelling and execution of Star Wars. And I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. It looks like we're going to visit the planet of Ilum or however you say that planet's name. Because it's like, it's got these like gems and like you're with this team and you're going in and
it's snowy. Yeah.
It looks like you're going to like have a mission to make your lightsaber.
I think that it looks like that's going to be the case. Also, fun fact, Starkiller Base, that's actually Ilum.
Really?
That's that planet. Yeah, they massacred my boy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually more powerful. Like that actually makes me like appreciate.
That's so sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
But that's why it worked. Because it was powered by all of the
Kyber crystals. Yeah, so it looks like, you're going to be able to go on this mission to find your Kyber crystal and go through that whole process and probably fight skeletons that are dressed up as stormtroopers or zombies or whatever. Those are going to be like the mobs in the game are going to be specifically Star Wars themed. So more than likely that's what's going to happen. And they previously had something that was an update to Minecraft that added Star Wars maps. Like there were these little self-contained things that you got to basically, and one was Dagobah that you could walk around and you could find different things. It was like treasure hunt kind of thing. And that was fun, but this is like fully explored mission based thing. And this is going to be really cool.
How open world do you think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be relatively open world.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be close to maybe something like Jedi Survivor.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe they have these bigger locations that you get to be more free around.
Right.
And then as you go to these different planets, there are going to be some boundaries.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially if you're like going in between things or on a very specific quest or mission or something like that. I could see that. Where it's more focused, but then there's like bigger spaces that you just get to run around and jump all over everything.
I think that's what it's going to be. But let us know your thoughts on what we discussed around Ahsoka as a whole, as well as Minecraft Star Wars in the comments below if you're watching this on YouTube, or contact uplinkpodcast.com. You can listen to the podcast wherever you find podcasts: Apple Podcasts, iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, all of the places. And you can, of course, check this out on YouTube. If you're listening to this on the podcast app of your choice, you can check out this as well as many other videos on the channel. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hey, check out other videos, as well as you can listen to the podcast anywhere else if you just drop off on here. As always, thank you for listening, and may the Force be with you.